Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. Today, for the college students, we're going to be solving rational equations. So this is a continuation from what we did last week. Last week we did simplifying rational expressions and then we had complex fractions. So this is just an addition to those two concepts. So I have 7 over x plus 1 equals 6 over x minus 5. When I look at my problem, I notice that I have a fraction, and by a fraction, there is nothing added to it or subtracted to it like this. It's just 7 over x plus 1, so you have your rational expression equaling another rational expression, which is 6 over x minus 5. Now, because it's one fraction equaling one fraction, this reminds me of proportions. And when you're going to solve a proportion, we use cross multiplication. So I'm going to cross multiply. This is the easiest way to solve this, by cross multiplication. So I'm going to cross like this and this. So I have 7 and I'm going to multiply the x minus 5 equals to 6 and I have the x plus 1. That eliminates my fraction. I'm now going to distribute. I have 7x minus 35 equals 6x plus 6. Please remember when you distribute that the 6 is multiplying every term and the 7 here is multiplying every term in the parentheses. I'm solving for x, so I'm going to minus 6x on both sides. I get x minus 35 equals 2, that is cancel 6, and solving for x, I'm going to add 35 to both sides, which gives me an answer of x equals to 41. If you want to check, because I know on your final you want to get everything right, so if you want to check, you have 7 over, we saw that x was 41, so this will be 41 plus 1. And this will be 6 over 41 minus 5. This will be 7 over 42, which equals to 6 over 36. And I'm going to simplify this. This is actually going to be 1 over 6 equals, and if I simplify this, 1 over 6 as well. So your answer is correct. Okay, let's look at this example. Now, this does not look like our first example. I have a big old subtraction sign, so we can't use cross multiplication. Here, we're going to have to find LCD, lowest common denominator. So I'm going to draw a very long line. So I'm going to look at my coefficients. I have an 8, a 2, and a 6. So I have to find the LCD for 8, 2, and 6. That would be 24. And then notice that I have x here and here, so we need that as well. So your LCD is 24x. So I have the 8 here, but I need to make it 24. So I need to multiply by 3. And notice this has an x, so we don't need an x. So we're just timesing by 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. Minus, okay, this is 2. We need to get it to 24. So I'm going to have to multiply by 12. And this 2 doesn't have an x, so we're going to need that x. So that will be 12x. And 1 times 12x is 12x. Equals, now this is 6. I need to make it 24. So I need to multiply by 4. And this has an x already, so we don't need an x. So that will just be 7 times 4 is 28. Now, once you have the LCD, you don't need that anymore, so we can just get rid of that. Focus on the numerator. So I'm just going to focus on 15 minus 12x equals to 28. So now we just have to solve for our x. So I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. So this will be negative 12x equals, and if I subtract that, I'm going to get 13. Solving for x, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 12. So my answer is x equals to, and I'm going to bring the negative in the middle, negative 13 over 12. Now I know some of you are probably saying, oh my God, how am I going to check that? Like I'm on the test, I get this crazy answer of negative 13 over 12. How am I going to check it? So I'm going to show you because in your class, you can use a calculator. I'm using the TI-30XX Multiview. If you have this is how you would use it. Or if you have a different type of calculator, you can use it as well. So I'm just going to show you how to use it on this one. So I'm going to put in 5, then my fraction, then 8. And then notice my value for x is a fraction. So I'm going to open parentheses. I'm going to put in the fraction. I'm going to put negative 13. I'm going to come down and I'm going to enter 12. And then I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to close the parentheses. And then I'm going to go to the right again so I can get my cursor right in the middle. And I'm subtracting a half, so 1 n over d, and then 2, and then go to the right and I hit enter. So on the left hand side, my answer came out to be negative 14 over 13. Now I'm going to put in the calculator 7 over 6x, but I'm going to replace the x by negative 13 over 12, and I'm hoping to get negative 14 over 13. So I have 7 n over d, 6. Okay, I'm going to open my parentheses. I'm going to insert my fraction, negative 13. I'm going to come down, my 12, go to the right, close that parentheses, and I'm going to go to the right again. And then I hit enter and notice I got negative 14 over 13. So this answer of negative 13 over 12 is correct. Okay, let's try the next one. So again, we have to find the LCD. So you know I like my very long line. So a kid in a candy store. So the kid goes in, he takes X. Okay, he sees X minus 5. He's going to take that. And then he sees X and he goes, I can't take it because I already have it. So now let's look here to see what's missing. So I'm going to write my 7. Now you have X. So what are you missing? X minus 5. Minus, I'm going to write my 3. Now this is what I have. X minus 5. Who are you missing? The X. Equals, I'm going to write my 2. This is what you have, X. But who are you missing from your LCD? You're missing X minus 5. Cross out the denominator. You're working with 7 times x minus 5 minus 3x equals to 2 times x minus 5. Let's get rid of those parentheses. 7x minus 35 minus 3x equals to 2x minus 10. I'm going to combine like terms over here on the left because I see I have 3 terms. So the 7x minus the 3x is actually 4x minus 35 equals to 2x minus 10. And now I have variables on both sides. So solving for x, I'm going to minus 2x on both sides. This leaves me with 2x minus 35 equals to negative 10. Solving for x, I'm going to add 35 to both sides. This cancels. I'm left with 2x equals to positive 25. And solving for x, I'll divide both sides by 2. So x has a value of 25 over 2. And I'm going to leave it like that. It's the 25 over 2. Okay, last one in the series, we have 3 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x plus 4 equals x plus 12 over x squared plus 5x plus 4. So our first step is to factor this monstrosity. So we have 3 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x plus 4 equals x plus 12, which is over, unless we factor, x squared is x and x. Everything is a positive, so plus and plus. I'm looking for the factors of 4 that when I add I get 5, and that would be 1 and 4. I had a feeling it will be the same 2 factors you had here. Now, once you factor the trinomial, we're going to have to find our LCD. So kid in a candy store, x plus 1 Then we'll take x plus 4, and we already have x plus 1 and x plus 4, so we can't take it again. So our LCD is x plus 1, x plus 4. So notice here, I'm going to write my 3. I notice I have an x plus 1, so who are you missing? The x plus 4 minus, okay, I have x plus 4. Who am I missing? The x plus 1 equals, and this, have both of them, so we don't need anything. This will just be x plus 12. Get rid of the denominator. We're just working with 3 times x plus 4 minus 1, which is multiplying x plus 1 equals to x plus 12. Distribute 3x plus 12 minus x minus 1. Please be careful when you're distributing the negative. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1 equals x plus 12. Notice on the left I have 4 terms, so I'm going to try to get that down to 2 terms by combining. So I'm combining the 3x with the negative x, so that will be 2x, and then the 12 with the negative 1 would be a positive 11 equals to x plus 12. Solving for x, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. So I have x plus 11 equals to 12. And solving for x, I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. So x has a value of 1. So this is nice. X is 1. This one you can check. So if we replace 1 in everything here, this would be 3 over 2 minus 1 over 5 equals to 13 over, let's see, 1 squared plus 5 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So we want to do this fraction and get 13 over 10. So this is easy. 2 times 5 is 10. Here, this would be 15 minus 2. Hoping to get 13 over 10. 15 minus 2, yep, 13 over 10 equals 13 over 10. So we are finished. I hope this lesson has been helpful. Good luck in your class, and please share and like and comment. Have a great day.